There's an emerging health crisis at APEATSE in the western region where survivors of last Thursday's explosion are beginning to report various degrees of speech and hearing impairment, according to ear, nose and throat doctors who are on the ground carrying out medical assessment on the community members. There are worrying signs of mild to moderate hearing loss. This follows earlier revelations by the Psychiatric Association of Ghana that some children there had gone mute after the explosion, while some adults contemplated suicide. We'll hear from the Ghana Medical Association on its reading of the situation in APEATSE shortly. But first, here's a wrap of the cases reported so far.
An initial assessment conducted by personnel from the Psychiatric Association of Ghana at APEATSE found a traumatized population of close to 900 displaced persons, including 373 extremely vulnerable children. This also included children who reportedly persistently screamed at night and some who had gone mute since the explosion. Some adults were reported to be struggling with sleep at night, while others were contemplating suicide. Dr. Ruth Aintree is president of the association.
One mother told me that the child since Thursday has not spoken. This is a child that was shown videos of gory sceneries, people dying, the fires, the flames going up and all that. And so people are going through challenges. And like we have said, if we are able to put in intervention at this early stage, we will be able to avert an otherwise severe mental disorders or severe anxiety disorders in the near future.
The association also predicted a risk of severe anxiety disorders and regression of the development of children with a potential impact on their academic performance. It took the conversion of the St. Michael's Catholic Church to a mini clinic for some of the survivors to be assessed by the medical team.
The dressing units also around. We are currently also preparing a place for the maternity people here, so that those who are pregnant and they have other issues with their pregnancy, they can just go to the nurse who is preparing a place for them to go. And we have also created a place for psychological, to psych them. Even now we have some people who have some issue when it comes to their sleeping, their fears, anxiety, and other things. Even there is a woman who just came here.
But in the past couple of days, many of the survivors are reporting mild to moderate hearing impairment. Dr. Paul Kwao Ntodi is a retired ear, nose and throat surgeon providing medical assistance on the ground.
We had a report to the regional director that some of the victims of the disaster had ear problems. Some had perforated eardrums, bilateral, most of them bilateral perforation of the tympanic membrane, the eardrums, with associated hearing loss. And so far, we've seen about 38 of the victims, most of them with bilateral perforation of the tympanic membrane, the eardrums. A few of them infected because even though they had been given prescriptions, I think they did not manage to get some of the treatment. One or two had their middle ear infected, and almost all of them had mild to moderate hearing.
We can now listen to General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Titus Bayo, was calling for the establishment of an on-site pharmacy to help dispense medicines.
Indeed, it can get worse because if you take like the infection, normally, if an eardrum or a tympanic membrane rupture treated, it can heal spontaneously on its own without the need for any surgical intervention. But if it gets infected, then there are complications that can make the situation even worse. You can get people developing otitis media and other infections that can even spread all the way to the brain. So the provision of antibiotics for these patients is an emergency. So I think that it calls for a more targeted response and a more targeted response. I know fundraising is going on, people are donating and resources are being raised. An on-site pharmacy must be set up immediately. People should not be given prescription to go look for medication to buy because within that town, the whole place is destroyed. Are they supposed to travel to the next community to go and look for a drug and buy? And these are people who have lost all their livelihood. So it will be unfortunate that a victim is given a prescription to go look for medication. I think as part of the response, there should be an on-site pharmacy at these camps, emergency camps that have been created. And when you are given a prescription, it should be direct to the pharmacy and you are supplied, because time is of essence.